Marc Nicholls, welcome to Charlotte. We're here at Big Ben's British pub. Didn't bring you here just because it's British and there's pictures of Winston Churchill on the wall, but this is a spot where many soccer fans come to watch games. So how have you found the soccer culture here so far, and what have you made of Charlotte?
It's a place of boom. You can see that from all the cranes and all the building. It's taken me a little bit by surprise, but at the same time that's very exciting. It's really interesting walking around town. There's lots of soccer memorabilia. I'm a little bit disappointed. I've looked around here, there's most clubs, but there's not my Wolves flag or any type of sign, so we might have to change that. But yes, I can sense that it's really encouraging in terms of the club that we have and moving forwards.
I have met a few Wolves fans in town, so I have to connect you at some point. But it is a young and vibrant city. There is a lot of change happening here. Do you think that Charlotte MLS is going to reflect that in its sort of vibrancy?
Yeah, I think it has to. I think that's reflected in how we hire, how we play, how we behave. When I spoke to Tom Glick and David Tepper when we came, we talked about Charlotte being a home of opportunity, being quite a hot city, and I think that should be reflected in the way that we behave, perform, play.
And you're no stranger to the Carolinas, of course. You've spent a lot of your career here, haven't you?
Yes, I had 8 years in Greensboro. I was the head coach of the Carolina Dynamo. Started the academy program right there and eventually merged into North Carolina Fusion. So I'm familiar with Charlotte.
You spent the time between then and now at the Seattle Sounders, of course. We all know they've had a lot of success in the past season with MLS Cup, but also in the academy levels as well. A lot of success, and I suppose a lot of that's down to you.
Yes, well, obviously I have a big team in the academy. I'd like to think that I've played a part in that. But it's been really exciting to be a part of the Sounders. We've had a lot of success, and especially in the last sort of 5 years, made 3 MLS Cup finals, won 2. The academy program's done very well also. If you look at the USL team at Seattle, it's 75% from the academy. A number are now being signed to the first team.
Here, what was the draw to come to Charlotte?
Well, it's a unique opportunity, obviously, to start a club from nothing. I think if you were to ask me, very simply, the draw, it would also be the people.
What exactly does a technical director do? And more specifically, what will this technical director do?
Yeah, titles can be confusing and they can mean different things in different places for sure. But obviously we have Zoran as the sporting director, and Zoran is a wealth of knowledge in terms of his network and scouting and obviously recruitment from his former agent background. I have some knowledge of the academy system, the USL, the reserves, and of course the MLS. That's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. So my remit here is quite broad. It's developing an academy and starting that from the ground up. But also it's about connecting the departments within the club, making sure that we have a club philosophy, way of playing, and that everybody's bought into that and unified and aligned.
So let's talk about the academy then. How does one go about starting an academy? We know there's there's a very successful scene here with youth soccer in Charlotte and the region as well. Are you going to work with those existing academies? How exactly is it going to play out?
I made it a point of day one on the job here, meeting with the executives, if you like, of each of the academies. We are only going to be as good as them, and we want them to very much feel a part of what we're doing. So for us, this collaboration is quite a natural thing.
And that's, I suppose, the construction of an academy is a long-term project. How about getting that team on the field next season? How much of that is about scouting local players or getting players from elsewhere?
Our priority is going to be the local players, the players from our area, if you like, of North and South Carolina. That's very important to us. It's important with the academy that we start right and well, and I'm quite lucky in that my first month, 6 weeks, be able to go out and watch and observe and sort of plan the best way forward. That, of course, could mean that we go for a fully blown academy. It could mean that we grow a little bit slower, a little bit more organically. So we'll have to see at that. In soccer, sometimes you have this generation that's really talented and maybe another one that you wonder what happened that year. That's the same in any academy. And so it's important, I think, to see what's out there in order to make the best plan.
And are you thinking there's going to be a few local lads in the team, the first starting 11 perhaps?
Yes, of course. That's integral. Integral not only to me and my role, but to the future of the club. There's an abundance of talent here. You have to mine it a little bit, and you have to make sure it's the right talent at the right time, with the right coaching and the right environment. But why not? If they can do it in all these other cities in the world, why not in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Let's talk about that mining talent then. I'll give you a hypothetical. Let's say the next Leo Messi is somewhere in Charlotte, he's somewhere in the region. How do you find him?
Scouting, network, friends, tipsters. It's very important that it's not just our head of recruitment, which is a role that we've advertised for within our academy. It's myself going out there, meeting people. It's very, very important to us that we also understand that there are other clubs springing up here and there that maybe are Latin based or have a different cultural perspective. So I've already connected with a couple of those leaders. So it's very important that they also feel that they're a part of it, because ultimately, again, they could be the one leading us to the next Messi, or as Zoran said, Michael Jordan.
Now, you mentioned also that the philosophy of the team is under your remit as well. Can you talk a little bit about that? Do you know what the playing style is going to be? Do you know, is it going to be like furious counter-attacking or a lot of possession? Is there any idea at this stage what the team's going to look like?
Yeah, and it's obviously that's not just me. This is a very collaborative effort. We want everybody to buy into that. And of course, we don't have a head coach yet, which will have an element of influence on that too. Not all of the influence. It's important that we're a club and not driven by one person. But I think what you'll see is, from a defensive perspective, you'll see a high pressing system. I believe that, a personal perspective, I want to be horrible to play against. You see, sometimes people talk about, it's always a nice game against them. I don't want anyone to ever say that. I want it to be horrible to play against. That means a collective game, a work ethic, stifle the opponent. And from an overall attacking perspective, we want to be very high in terms of chance creation, making goals, scoring goals, dynamic, attacking, exciting for the fans.
Now, you mentioned being horrible to play against there. That's quite a big European trope of big teams, other teams not wanting to go there, not wanting to visit that stadium. Right. Do you think we want to try and create that vibe as well? Well,
that would be wonderful. And we are a community, and the fans will play the most important part of that. So absolutely, this is I was quite, when I saw that, is it the Mint City Collective?
That's right.
I really like that name, the collective, because we're all in this together.
Definitely. All right, Marc, I know you're a very busy man. You've got a team to build. You've got about a year to do it, so I'm going to let you go. Final question for you. Why do you think MLS soccer is going to be a success in Charlotte?
Oh, it's clear. I mean, from the first question and comments about the city, whenever I've been out and about speaking to people, you can see it's a very young, vibrant, transient city. There's a lot of excitement amongst the people. I've walked around in lots of bars, restaurants. The game is always on. I can't imagine a more prime place for MLS to come.
I will drink to that. Cheers, Marc.
Thank you.